Hello, welcome to Palabras, lesson 15. In this lesson, we're going to look at the present perfect, or how to say something has happened, and we're going to look at irregular verbs. Irregular verbs. Okay, so the first thing we do is we learn the vocabulary. Como siempre, we always learn the vocabulary. We have to learn 50 words. And then we go straight to the present perfect. Okay? To say that something has happened during a time in the past, for example, I have worked, we simply we simply put the verb to have in present before the verb, the principal verb of the sentence. The verb to have, we already studied and we already know it as tener. But now we're going to use the verb haber, okay, which also is to have. The first verb of the sentence we put as the past participle. The past participle of the verbs regular, of the regular verbs, we make by simply adding ed. Okay, irregular verbs. Well, we're going to study irregular verbs a little bit later. Okay, does it sound complicated? Okay, with the following example, you'll see that really it's very easy. So this is the formation. This is the formation. Use the auxiliary verb haber, and which is the same have in English. I have worked. You have worked. He has worked. She has worked. It has worked, etc. I'm going to show you in a little bit more detail by going to my favorite site, how to make the present perfect tense. And this is looking at English Club, okay, which is very good for looking at the grammar, studying the grammar more closely. So how do we make the present perfect tense? The structure of the present perfect tense is the subject, and the subject will be I, you, she, we, etc. And the auxiliary verb have, and the main verb as a past participle. And here are some examples. I have seen E.T. E.T. Okay, it's a film, un película. I have seen E.T. He visto. I have seen. You have eaten mine. You've eaten mine. You've eaten my cake. Has comido. Okay, you've eaten. And here we have negatives. She has not been. Okay, so normal structure. After the auxiliary verb, not. Okay, we have not played. Always with these verbs here are past participles. Okay, now finish and play. These are regular verbs, and with regular verbs we just add ed. But seen, eaten, been, and done are irregular verbs, and the past participle is different. And this is the verb to see, mirar. Eaten, comer. Been, the past participle of to be, which of course in Spanish is estar and ser. And done, which is the past participle of hacer, okay? The verb to do. So, also have a look at the contractions with the present perfect tense. Okay, when we use the present perfect tense in speaking, when we're speaking, we usually contract the subject and auxiliary verb. Okay, I have becomes I've. You have becomes you've. He has becomes he's. She's, it's, etc. We've and they've. Okay, here's some examples. Okay, be careful, he's or he's, because it could mean it has eaten or it is eaten. Okay? Have a look at that. We can have a look at the present perfect use. It's quite complicated. It's called the present perfect tense. There is always a connection with the past and with the present. Okay? So it's a tense we use to connect the past and the present. So we can use it for experience. Okay? I have seen E.T. He has lived in Bangkok. Okay? So the past, present, okay? I have seen E.T. The action was in the past. But the memory is still in my head. So it's connected to the present. The event was in the past. I'm still thinking about it now. I have a memory. Okay? Okay, we can use it for changes. For changes. I have bought a car. The connection? Last week, I didn't have a car. And now I have a car. I have bought a car. Quando? Maybe a week ago, hace una semana. Maybe 1 day ago. Maybe 1 hour ago. Okay? I have bought a car. Just now. Okay? It's in the past, but it's connected with now. Okay? John has broken his leg. Yesterday, John had a good leg. Now, he has a bad leg. He's broken his leg. Cuando? No sé. It doesn't say. It doesn't matter. We're just talking about John's broken leg. Okay? If we want to know exactly when, we say John broke his leg. We use the past tense. Okay? Broke is the pasado of break. A regular verb. Okay? John broke his leg yesterday. Or John broke his leg 1 month ago. Okay? But we're not talking about when. We're just talking about the fact that John has broken his leg. Okay? Continuing situations. I have worked here since, desde junio. I have worked here since June. Okay? He has been ill for 2 days. Okay, so the situation started in the past. It continues up to now. And it will probably continue into the future. So I have worked here since June. Okay? I have worked here for 3 months. Listen to the use of since and for. Okay? Durante y desde. Okay? We use desde from a point. Since June. Okay? But we use for the amount of time. For 2 days. For 6 months. For 3 years. Okay? Now let's go back and look at the exercises in Mil Palabras. So the first thing is translate the following sentences to English. Él ha pasado. He has passed. Ellos han servido la comida. They have served the food. Okay? They have served the food. It's finished. Okay? In this sense, they have served the food, and now we are eating the food. Entonces, then there is a connection with the past. They served the food, and we are eating it. My mother has returned from her vacation. Okay? My mother just walked in the door. Hello, mother. Hello, mother. Mother has returned from her vacation. Okay? She was on holiday, and now she has returned. So, it's the past. The vacation was in the past. And the connection with the past is she has come home. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Maria ha contestado la pregunta. Maria has answered the question. Okay, now these are, we're using here, I think, served, returned, answered, divided, lived. These are all regular verbs. We're using regular verbs. Okay? So with regular verbs, we just add ed. The pasado and the past participle of regular verbs is the same. It's when we have to use irregular verbs that it becomes a little more complicated. Okay, her aunt has divided the money, etc. Okay, let's look at this one. Su madre de ella. Her mother has allowed him to go to the lake. His mother has allowed him to go to the lake. Okay? This one. His sisters have changed their job. Their job or their work. Okay? But their job. Okay? He has called you once, etc. He has called. She has been, etc. Okay? These are all regular verbs. Okay? So the director has requested your information. The teacher has explained the lesson. And there are lots and lots of these. You have to do them all. And when you finish this exercise, you will feel familiar with the present perfect tense. Okay? El niño, the boy, has visited his uncle. Okay? Oh, here we have the lady has used this dress before. I'm looking for irregular verbs, but all of these are regular. I think all of these are regular. Let me just check. Except maybe the last two. Ellos han roto el pacto. Okay? And ha ido. Now these are irregular verbs. Okay? And this one is ellos, they have broken the deal. They have broken the deal. Now broken is the past participle of the verb to break. To break, the simple past is broke, and the past participle is broken. And look at this one, ido. This is the past participle of the verb go. Okay? So we have go, irregular verb. The pasado of go, went. The past participle, gone. Quite difficult. Okay? We're going to look at the irregular verbs now. So the girl has gone outside. So let's look at the irregular verbs so that we can use them in the perfect tense. In lesson 5 you learned to add ed to the verbs to form the past. There are some verbs called irregulars in which you do not add ed to form the past. Okay? Irregular verbs also exist, of course, in Spanish. And you've studied them, and you studied some of the irregular verbs here in this lesson in the vocabulary, okay, and in some of the previous vocabularies, okay. Now, let's have a look at let me just have a quick look. Let's have a quick look at irregular verbs in main verbs, regular and irregular verbs. Okay, irregular. This is more a question of vocabulary than of grammar. The only real difference between regular and irregular verbs is that they have different endings for their past tense and past participle forms. For regular verbs, the past tense ending and past participle ending is always the same. We just add ed. But for irregular verbs, the past tense ending and the past participle ending is variable. Okay? So it is necessary to learn them a memoria, by heart. Okay? You have to learn these individually. And there are lots of irregular verbs. So this is some work for you. Okay? So let's have a quick look at regular verbs. Here's the base. Look. To look. Okay? And this is the past tense. Looked. And this is the past participle. Looked. Work. Worked. Worked. Play. Played. Played. Okay? Prepare. Prepared. Prepared. Etc. Regular verbs. Muy fácil. But irregular verbs, oh dear, this is different. This is different. So buy, comprar. Pasado, bought. And the past participle, también, is bought. Not too bad. Cut, cortar. Well, this one is very easy. Cut, pasado, cut, past participle, cut, también. Okay, all cut. Okay, I cut, I have cut, yesterday I cut, today I cut. Okay, and do, hacer. Well, the past is did, and the past participle is done. So you can see there are no rules, there's no formula with irregular verbs. They're all different. They're all different, okay? Now, let's have a quick look, check your understanding. Oh no, we're not going to do that. We're going to go back to English Express and we're going to look at some of the irregular verbs. So, look at this is a long list. But there are many more that you need to learn, okay? And you can see that the most important irregular verb is the verb to be. And the pasado is was or were. Okay? So I was, but you were. Okay? They were. We were. Okay? And the participle is been. Okay? Here's another one. Become, became, become. Begin, began, begun. Bend, bent, bent. Bet. That's easy. Bleed, bled, bled. Blow, blew, blown. Break, broke, broken. Okay? There are no rules. You have to learn all these individually. And the best way to learn them, I think, the best way, is to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 every day on a piece of paper and take it with you everywhere. Okay? So you can read them in the kitchen, you can read them in the bathroom, you can read them in the bedroom. Every day, 5 more irregular verbs. Okay? It won't take long, then it will be easy. If you can learn 5 irregular verbs every day, okay? Well, today you're going to learn more. Today you're going to learn more. So let's have a look. The past perfect of the irregular verbs is the same as the verbs irregular that you have seen in the first part of this lesson. Okay? So you simply put the verb to have and after the verb irregular in the past perfect. Okay? I have frozen. Okay? You have frozen. he has frozen, etc. Okay? So, frozen. It's not actually, I don't think it's actually here. Oh, freeze, freeze. The verb to freeze. Froze, frozen. Okay? Let's do some of the exercises. Okay, exercise, there's a lot of exercises on there. This is a long lesson, okay? So, complete the following sentences with the irregular verbs in the present perfect tense. Okay? So, I come, I have come. I find, or they find the pen. They have found the pen. Drink, she has drunk the water. My father has done his work. Their aunt has fed the children. They have drawn a car. Okay, they have drawn a car. Just get the feel of it. Feel of it. Doesn't matter if you don't understand everything. His wife has forgiven him. I have gone. The girl has fallen. Okay? So using the auxiliary verb have, that's the same as normal. I have, you have, but third person has. So the girl has fallen. The animal has fought. She has bent the knife. Okay, third person has. They have broken the glass. Jorge has got a girl, etc. Okay? And then the next one we have to translate the following sentences to English. So the boy has drawn this picture. They have done their work. These are irregular verbs, okay? The wind has blown very hard. Okay? My father has been ill. My father has been ill for 3 days. Okay? The gentleman has forgotten her name. Okay? That man has broken the glass. Okay? She has burnt my shirt. She has burnt my shirt. Okay? The citizen has caught the dog. My nephew has heard the news. There are lots and lots of these here. Look at them all. So when you've done all these, you're going to start feeling much more comfortable with the present perfect tense. But what is most important now is learning irregular verbs. Okay? You have to learn them individually. So you find a list. I think there are lots and lots of lists on the internet. Let's have a look. I think I might have missed these. Let's have a look at a list for irregular verbs. So I go to grammar. First I find English club. Yeah? Then I go to grammar, here at the bottom. And then I go to tenses and I find irregular tenses. Here I have regular verbs and irregular verbs. So I'm looking at irregular verbs and the explanations. Okay? With regular verbs, the rule is simple. Ed, ed, ed. Past simple, past participle, the same. But with irregular verbs, there is no rule. Sometimes the verb changes completely, like sing, sang, sung. Sometimes there is half a change, buy, bought, bought. And sometimes there is no change, cut, cut, cut. Okay? It's a good way of learning them, actually. You can divide, you can divide the irregular verbs into groups. Let's have a look at a list of irregular verbs in English. A list of irregular verbs. Okay? Base form, past simple, past participle. Awake. And let's see how many there are in this list. Okay, and this is a very good list to learn from. And you can see there are lots and lots of them. Let's just take one by random. Okay? Think. Pensar, think. Thought, thought. Okay? Win, ganar, win, won, won. Write, escribir. Write, wrote, written. Okay? So you can see there are lots and lots of those. And this, for that reason, this lesson is going to take you a very long time, because you have to learn all the irregular verbs, all the vocabulary. Don't hurry. Don't be in a hurry. Okay? Let's have a look at the last one. We have gone to that club on various nights. Okay, that's quite good. Yeah? Okay. The plane has flown 100 miles today. Okay, you do this exercise, you'll get the feel of it. Then learn the irregular verbs. Bye bye, I'll see you for lesson 16. Thank you.